Today, I'll show you how I created this torn paper breakthrough effect with the girl popping out of the paper on top of the 2024 grad photo. So stay tuned. Before we get going, I wanted to let you guys know that I have opened up my YouTube memberships. One of the memberships is exclusively for beginners that just don't know where to start on Canva. If you're interested, you'll find the link to join my members only area in the description. So don't forget to go and check it out. I'm going to start by creating a new page, and I'm just going to try and recreate this. So I'm going to search for some elements to put them on my workspace. So the first thing that I did was I searched for a film strip. Here it is here, but it's actually under photos. So this is the film strip that I used, and I propped it sort of like this, and then I placed a frame in there. So I placed this frame in there, and I kind of positioned it and just made it a little bit larger, and I tried to move it up to the edge to make it look like it was all together. Now this specific frame, you can change the colors on the outside, as you can see right up here. So I changed the outside to a red, and then I changed the writing on the side to a black, and then I made a copy, and I just put that up against the other one just to make it look like it was continuing like that. And I'm gonna fix that later, so you'll see how I'll do that later. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into elements, and I'm gonna search for varsity numbers. So these are the numbers that I used. And I used to make the year. So I'll just put these over here, and I'll try and line them up. And now I'll just change the color. I'm going to change the color to red, and use the copy style button to change the rest of them. All right, so now I'm going to find that pop out. So let me see if I can find it. So it was, I think it was a paper hole that I looked for. And here it is right here. So this is it here. This is the paper hole. And the thing about pop outs, let me just create another, let me copy that, okay? Control C, and I'll just create another page here, and I'll put it here. Now, the thing about pop-outs is that when you're placing photos inside of pop-outs, so let me search for a grad. Okay, I'll just use this one for example, okay? The thing you want to do with a pop-out is you want to use someone that's doing a little bit of an action, like either they're holding something, they're holding their arms out, something that's gonna actually pop out of the paper, the torn paper. When someone is just standing still, it really doesn't have that much of an effect. So if I remove the background from this photo and I put this person here, it really doesn't look that good, as opposed to someone who's holding a diploma in a hand that's popping out, or someone that's walking out of a pop out, if that makes sense. Now the other thing with this paper, this ripped paper, is even if I were to push the girl behind the paper, so if I were to take her and move her in behind, that really wouldn't be a good effect. If she's in front, that's really not a good effect either, because I can make it bigger, but then the outer edge of the torn paper, it really doesn't look like it has a good effect. And so what I tried to do is I tried to look for a frame, because with a frame, and I'll just use this circular frame as an example, and I'm going to put her in there, okay? I tried to use a frame to kind of put the person in there to look better. But what I found was that even with using a frame, it didn't look right, because no matter what type of frame I tried to use, like even if I took another picture like this one, because most people are going to have this type of a picture. They're going to have this like a square picture. So even if I use this picture, like that, still it just wouldn't look right, because I can't get that person in there popping out. So what I had to resort to was actually creating my own frame, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So what I did is I took this torn paper, so I'll take another copy of it, and I'm going to put it on this page. So I took this torn paper, and what I did is I went into the tool called Draw, and what I did was I filled in the hole. So I took the marker here and I changed the color to black, and I'm just going to make this a little bit larger, and I came in here and I tried to color this all in very carefully. Now this does take a little bit of patience, but this is what I did. And stay with me, because there is a logic to the madness. Trust me. Okay, I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller so I can get into these holes. See if I can. I wonder if I erase that, if it's going to erase all of it. Okay. So now what I did is I went to the selector tool and I removed the paper hole. I garbage canned it, and that left me with this black blob. So what I did is I downloaded this as a PNG, because now I want to use this to create a frame, if that makes sense. So I took it and I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm gonna move my microphone closer to me. But I took this blob and I downloaded it as a PNG, transparent. I'm only downloading page 4. So this is my page 4. And I'm now going to go into a website called Convert.io. And I'm going to take that image that I downloaded, which is right here, and I'm going to drop it in here. And now I'm going to convert it. So I'm going to convert it to a vector graphics, a vector SVG. I'm going to press this red button. And once it's done, I'll be able to download it. So I'll download my graphics. So congratulations, to SVG is where it's at. Now I'm going to open up another website, and it is Photopea. Some people call it Photopea. I don't know. I call it Photopea. So I am going to drop that image in here. And here it is. And now Photopea is free. Okay, Convert.io is free, so this isn't costing you any money at all. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into File, and I'm going to select the Open and Place. And now I'm going to search for an image, and it can be any image. You can use any image at all. I'm going to use this one. So there's an image. That's an image of me. And what I'll do now is I'll go on to my right side. So now we have 2 layers. We have my picture, and we have the layer of that blob. I'm going to take the picture. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go down, and I'm going to select clipping mask. And that's going to make my picture conform to the blob, okay? Whenever we're trying to create a frame, we need some kind of an image as a placeholder in the frame, if that makes sense. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to File, and I'm going to save this as a PSD, because then I'm going to bring it into Canva. I'm going to bring it back into Canva. So I've saved that. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to create a new page. So this is what it is, but I'm going to create a new page just to show you how I brought it into Canva. And this is the tricky part. So I'm going to go to my files, and I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to go to my downloads. This is the PSD that I just downloaded from Photopea. And I'm going to grab that, and I'm just going to bring it to my workspace in Canva. And you'll see it's going to try and upload it. The problem is sometimes it just doesn't recognize it. That's the problem that I found. So you see, normally it would appear here or in my uploads, but it's not there. So what I had to do is I had to go back to Home, and I had to refresh, and I'll find it at the top. So here it is right here. Congratulations. So I'm going to click on that. So here it is. And I'm going to grab it, and I'm just going to copy it. Control C. And I'm going to bring it back into my design here. I'm going to paste it in my design. Control V. So here it is. This is a frame now. So I can actually remove my picture, and what we'll have is the frame. So I'm going to click delete to delete the picture. And this is the frame. And now when I grab the paper, the ripped paper, and I put it on top, so this is it. I don't want to put the ripped paper inside my frame, but I want to use it so that I can put an image inside of it, if that makes sense. So now when I go to grab an image, so let's say I want to use this one, but this isn't a very good example, but I'm going to use it anyhow. So, okay, unfortunately the frame is in behind, so I need to bring the frame up top. I'm going to grab the photo and I'm going to put it in there. And now, okay, let me make that larger because we want to make this a pop out, right? Okay, so, and now I'm going to go back to position and I'm going to put that in behind. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is what I should have done. Let me detach this. Just going to make a copy of that. I'm just going to put that to the side and put that back in the frame. Just to show you how the pop-out actually works. Okay, so I'm going to put her like that. Okay. And I'm going to send her to the back. Okay. All right. So normally with a pop-out, what happens is that you have two images, one with the background, and you can see she's in the photo, and we can still see the background of the photo that she's in. I'm going to take this photo here. This is a duplicate of the photo that's in the torn paper. And I'm going to remove the background for this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this photo on top without making it go into that frame. So if I position this, stay with me, okay? I know this is taking a little bit of time, but it's worth it. And I guess you just have to be careful about positioning the frames so that they, or the images so that they align with one another. That can get kind of tricky. So that's what I did. And when we come back up here with this picture here, that's sort of the idea of what I did. So I grabbed the frame that I created, which is over here. It's over here, but this is the same. And I'm going to bring it up here into this photo here. And I'm just going to keep it on the side for now because there's a couple of steps we have to do. So I'm just going to keep that there. That's the frame that I created. And I'm now going to search for a whole bunch of pictures of grads. So I'll use this picture and I'll just put that in there. I'll use this picture, I'll put that in there. I'll use this picture, and I want to find a picture with someone holding a diploma. This is a good picture right here. Okay, and let me just grab another picture to put right in this bottom frame there. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. That way we can actually see a person. Okay, all right. So this is the picture that I'm going to use for this frame. I'm going to make a copy of it because I need one to go into the frame and then I need another one to sit on top of the torn paper. So I'm going to grab the first one and I'm going to put it inside. And now we need to reposition it because what we want is for that diploma to be outside of the frame. So I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to position it upwards like that because the hat and the diploma are going to sit partially outside of the frame. Okay, and now I'm going to move this down a little bit, and I'm going to grab this picture and I'm going to remove the background. Okay, so now the background's been removed. When handling photos over frames, handle them by the edges. That way they don't accidentally slip inside the frame. So I'm just going to try and match the two photos. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring this over here and I'm going to move the cutout on top because the cutout needs to be on top. So I'm going to move this on top. Okay, that seems to be okay right there. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the other photo and I'm going to try and place it on top so that it's popping out. Okay, and now I'm going to crop the photo. Now, this might take a couple of photos. As you can see right here, it's not really, you can't see the torn paper, okay? So what you might have to do is actually make another duplicate for the hand that's popping out. So I'm just going to make another duplicate here. And that is probably the best we can do with this photo and the cutout. And then what I did following that is I just added a background. So I added the black background. And I added a shape on the bottom here because I wanted to hide the film strip that was coming out. So I added this shape and I made it black. And then I added oh well, I think it moved. There. Yeah, it does get kind of tricky on trying to get them to match, but it does take a little patience, but it does look good. Thank you. So what else did I do? I added a circular gradient. And if I spell that right, it will come up. Okay, so like, so I guess like this, and I'm going to put that in behind. Like that. And you can, if that's too bright, you can always make it more transparent, like that. And then I grabbed some white lights, like this, and I put them, Actually, I don't like that. Like that. And like that. And I also push those behind so that they weren't so prominent like in front. And also the grad. So this grad, I used some text for the bottom down here, and I used, I think, a font called, I think it was Yearbook. This one, okay, that's right, it was this one. And let me just change it to grad, and I changed the color to white, and I also applied a outline. So I went into text effects and I chose this one, the outline, and I made the outline black, and I also increased the thickness. Yeah, like that. And then I think I just added some roses on the side. So you can just search for roses. Like this. And also there was the congratulations on top that I added. And so let me just add another text and say congratulations. And for that one, I believe I used Beautiful Natalie. Here it is, Beautiful Natalie. And I made that red with a black shadow. Or maybe it was a white shadow. Yeah, I think it was a white shadow. There. And that is pretty much it. I mean, it's a little bit different than the one up here, but that's how I created this effect. And that was pretty much it. Now, just remember that that session was recorded live, and if you didn't make it, hopefully you'll join me or make it for the next session. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends, I'll say bye-bye and have fun with Canva.